It is Meghan Markle's birthday today, and the name of the game apparently is Cosplay, as Meghan is once again cosplaying her mother-in-law, Princess Diana.
Happened to Meghan Markle's quiet birthday plans. You know, the plans that she briefed to Hello magazine? Instead, we had to see a woman who believes she should have a royal role.
There's a reason why this video doesn't quite hit home. If you look at Meghan Markle, there is no eye contact with the person filming the video. You would think that if that is her husband filming her, she would be flirting with her husband, looking at him, saying, hey, look at me, I'm giving misses. But no, there's zero eye contact. It's purely performative, because we know that that is not Harry, because Meghan Markle spent her birthday alone. That is actually Marcus Anderson who filmed that video.
I'm just like your ma, Harry. That's how thousands of people reacted when Meghan Markle posted this birthday photo, a black and white shot of her jumping into a pool with balloons that looked almost identical to one of Princess Diana's most famous images. Was it intentional? Was it just a coincidence? Let's look at the photo that started the whole conversation.
It was all particularly tragic, given that Meghan herself had to mark her own birthday. There were no congratulations or celebrations from the Kardashians or the Williams or even her Suits co-stars.
This is what Meghan Markle shared for her big girl birthday. Yep. And she is jumping into a pool with her black bathing suit on. Happy birthday. According to People magazine, the photos were taken by a friend during an early birthday celebration in California. So I imagine.
So instead, as ever, the account that she runs, the account that she writes, posted this. Happy birthday to our founder, Meghan. Lighting number 84 to celebrate. Oh, she's selling a candle while putting out new pictures of her childhood.
The moment this photo appeared, it felt familiar, not because Meghan was celebrating her birthday, but because the image itself seemed to echo a moment royal watchers have seen before. Look at the details. Her arms are stretched high above her head. One leg is lifted while the other trails behind. She's wearing a black one-piece swimsuit captured in mid-air just before hitting the water. Even the black and white filter gives the photo a timeless look. Individually, none of those choices would stand out. Put them together, though, and it's hard not to think of Princess Diana's famous St. Tropez photograph from 1997. That image wasn't remembered simply because Diana jumped into a pool. It became iconic because it captured a rare moment of freedom. There were no palace walls, no royal engagements, and no formal expectations. It showed Diana laughing, relaxed, and seemingly enjoying life on her own terms.
It's just Meghan celebrating Meghan. You know, Meghan wishing herself birthday messages from Meghan to Meghan. It reminds me, she had a watch inscribed many years ago, and she had it inscribed for the future daughter that she might one day have, and it was like 2mm from MM. It's still very much the same.
She's cooking for herself even though it's her birthday, right? There's nobody there, not even the kids. It's all about Meghan, you know, not even her children or anything like that. But it's so sad and lonely. Nobody wishing her a happy birthday.
She posted what I would say was a really cringe video on her socials. It had, you know, balloons in the kitchen. She was wearing a It's Giving Mrs. t-shirt. I think we could possibly hear Harry in the background, assuming that maybe he filmed it.
Over the years, that single photograph came to represent much more than a summer vacation. That's why this birthday picture immediately drew attention. It wasn't the jump itself. It was the combination of the pose, the styling, and the overall composition. The resemblance goes beyond one detail. It's the complete visual package that makes the comparison so difficult to ignore. And that's what makes this photo different from an ordinary birthday post. Once an image reminds people of one of the most recognizable photographs in royal history, the conversation naturally shifts away from the birthday itself and toward the picture it appears to recreate.
This has been talked about for years now. Meghan Markle's incessant need to copy other people, from Diana to the Princess of Wales to other celebrities like Pamela Anderson, Gwyneth Paltrow. Meghan Markle seems to lack one very key thing in the public's eye.
What's that about privacy? There was one public message, one. Nothing from the royal family, nothing from any A-list friends, one message publicly from Kelly J. Zedgefan, who wrote happy birthday to this great dream girl, you are very loved.
Despite the fact that apparently her Australian astrologer told her it was going to be her year and that she's coming out of 7 years of misery and everyone will see her for who she is. Now, that part I actually believe is true. Yes, people are absolutely seeing Meghan for who she is.
But there was one small detail that made the comparison feel even more deliberate: the balloons. The balloons are what take this photo from familiar to almost impossible to ignore. At first glance, they're exactly what you'd expect in a birthday post. But in this image, they do much more than celebrate another year. They shape the entire pose. Holding the balloons naturally lifts Meghan's arms high above her head. Combined with the jump, the black one-piece swimsuit, the black and white filter, and the timing of the shot, the result is a composition that closely mirrors one of Princess Diana's most recognizable photographs. Take away any one of those details, and the comparison loses some of its impact. Keep them all together, and the resemblance becomes much stronger. That's what makes this image so interesting. It's not one single element, it's how every choice works together. The styling, the pose, the framing, the moment the camera clicks. Each piece builds on the next until the finished photo feels strikingly familiar.
She was cosplaying Diana again, even jumping into the pool with the swimming costume, because Meghan's mole found a picture and Diana jumped in exactly the same. The leg positioning, the hand positioning. I don't think she relaxes when she's asleep. She's just constantly processing and calculating, I think. What can I do next? What's going to get me the most attention? And sure enough, it does work.
Then we have this. Feels like very Diana inspired. Yeah, this year, this is from Meghan Markle's The Cut. And then we have Meghan and Diana here, Meghan and Diana here, Meghan and Diana here. And Meghan's kind of, we actually have a better shot at this. Meghan definitely seems to be trying to copy Diana in that style. Like the jeans look similar, the white shirt looks similar. It all feels very samey same.
This is why the conversation quickly moved beyond a birthday celebration. The image wasn't being viewed as a simple snapshot. It looked carefully composed, with every detail adding to the final result. And once you start looking at the complete picture instead of one individual detail, another question naturally follows. Was this really an isolated moment, or was it another chapter in something that's been happening for years? Because this wasn't the first time Meghan's fashion, photography, or public image had drawn comparisons to Princess Diana, and that's where this story becomes much bigger than one birthday photo. If this were the only comparison, the conversation would probably end with one photograph. But this image brought back a much bigger discussion.
Meghan Markle copies. It's hard to acknowledge. Obviously, this is an homage, because Catherine again did something similar with her pregnancy here. But this looks like a copy because Meghan doesn't know how to dress as a British royal, so she just copies what Diana did.
Most people on their birthdays, they do one post or they'll look back on their year. That's kind of the trend in Hollywood right now of like, this is my year that I just had. And she did not do that for good reason. It's been a completely lousy year.
Over the years, Meghan's fashion choices, public appearances, and photo concepts have repeatedly drawn comparisons to Princess Diana. Individually, these similarities might seem small. The reason they continue to attract attention is because they keep appearing together. There is a difference between taking inspiration from an icon and trying to recreate the feeling of that icon. Fashion inspiration happens all the time, but the conversation changes when the focus moves beyond clothing and into the entire image being created. The pose, the location, the emotion, the message behind the photograph. That is where the idea of cosplaying Diana comes from. Not simply wearing something similar, but attempting to step into a visual moment that already carries someone else's history. And that creates a difficult challenge, because Diana's appeal was never just about what she wore. It came from the person behind the image. Her legacy was built through years of public moments that people felt were genuine and uniquely hers. And that leads to the biggest question surrounding Meghan's public image. Does she have a style and identity that people can instantly recognize as her own?
Meghan Markle seems to lack one very key thing in the public's eye, and that is a defined identity. From her fashion to her personality to her interests, everything about Meghan seems to be a copy of somebody else because she lacks an inherent identity on her own. And this comes from a mixture of things, including a massive narcissistic ego and, of course, massive insecurities as well.
The bigger issue behind the Diana comparisons is not the clothing, it is identity. For anyone in the public eye, changing and growing is normal. People evolve, their style changes, their interests change. But with Meghan, the discussion has often focused on how quickly those identities seem to shift. First, she was known as an actress, building a career in Hollywood. Then she became a member of the royal family. After leaving royal duties, she moved into the world of lifestyle, media, and business. Each chapter created a new image. The challenge is that every new version has been compared to someone or something that already existed.
You have this woman who is just constantly trying to be, I'm so happy, I'm so happy. Now, in that photo of her jumping into the pool with balloons, it's an exact replica of her mother-in-law, Princess Diana, jumping into the ocean decades earlier. And it's just, it's kind of creepy. Not to mention, again, it's hypocritical.
Because out of all of the photographs that she posted on her birthday, the photograph that got most talked about was the one of her jumping in the pool because she looked like Diana. So she knows how to play the game. She does know how to play the game, really.
Indeed, and I will get to some of that cosplaying in just a moment, Tash.
Instead of people seeing a completely new direction, some viewers feel they are seeing pieces borrowed from different successful women and different eras. That is why the Diana comparisons continue to be so powerful. Diana's image was not created overnight. It developed through years of public moments, personal struggles, and experiences that shaped how people remembered her. She became an icon because people connected with the person behind the image.
So all these, there's just something about them. It doesn't feel natural. It feels very intentional. And the one that actually gets me the most, guys, this one. There's a creepiness about it when you think about it. I guess Meghan Markle is mommy in this scenario. I guess she's sugar mommy. That was such a creepy and bizarre photo shoot. Harry looks smaller than Meghan. He looks like her hairstylist. But seriously, the most obvious one is he's recreating the pose with his mother and with Meghan. And
you can recreate a photograph, you can recreate a style, but recreating someone's identity is much harder. And that is where the conversation around Meghan becomes bigger than one swimsuit or one birthday photo, because the question is no longer just what she wears. It becomes about whether people feel they are seeing a clear, authentic identity. And once questions about identity enter the conversation, the next thing people start examining is authenticity.
this one from the Marie Claire article. Meghan again trying to be Diana. And I also saw this one, which I didn't think of before either. I might have seen it. But Meghan, again, copying Diana with the pose here. This is a pure Diana copy, guys.
She does try and emulate the late Princess Diana. I mean, she'll never be Princess Diana. But there were even moments when they were on, I think it was Portugal. They just went on a trip after they went to the UK. And even in her bathing suit then, there were a lot of comparisons drawn to the late princess.
The hardest thing for any public figure to create is authenticity. People are drawn to personalities that feel natural. They connect with moments that seem genuine, not carefully manufactured. That is why constant reinvention can become complicated. Changing your style is normal. Building a new career is normal. Trying new things is normal. But when every new chapter looks completely different, audiences can start wondering where the real person fits into the picture. With Meghan, this has been one of the biggest debates surrounding her public image.
Because there's something about it when we look at her that you just think, is that really her? In terms of, would Meghan herself actually choose to wear X, Y, or Z? Would she choose to do X, Y, or Z? Or is she just copying someone?
It wasn't just Diana. Hands pointing out, not only did Meghan happily copy Diana's jumping into the water pose with jewelry, but
I
now
thought
she's
that-
happily copying the Beckham's dance. And look, Tash, look, she's actually done the, look.
Do you know what? I was watching this clip earlier and I was like, it's reminded me of something. It was the islands in the stream that they did on. Oh, that is creepy. She's cosplayed Victoria a few times, hasn't she?
The question is not whether someone can change. The question is whether those changes feel like natural growth or a search for the next image that might finally connect. This is where the Diana comparisons become even more important. Diana was not remembered because she followed a formula. She was remembered because her most famous moments often felt spontaneous. They felt like glimpses of a real person. That contrast is what makes recreated imagery so difficult. A perfect recreation can still feel different from an original moment.
And she just focuses and she goes, right, okay, who am I going to cosplay today? Meghan the humanitarian, you can look that up, and she copies Angelina Jolie. You know, certain hand movements and things that she does. It's certifiable, shall we say. Definitely something that I think the psychiatrist could talk about for many, many, many years.
And when every outfit, photograph, and public appearance is analyzed through that lens, the focus shifts from what someone is presenting to why they are presenting it. The identity question eventually becomes an authenticity question, and that same debate did not stop with fashion. It followed Meghan into another major part of her public image, her brand. A personal brand is supposed to answer one simple question: what makes this person different? But the lifestyle space is already packed. Celebrities and influencers have built entire businesses around the same areas: food, wellness, home, beauty, and personal storytelling. The formula is everywhere. That is why originality matters.
Idris, she's done it with everything. Every quote that she comes out with, you're guaranteed someone else has said it. Everything that she's ever come out with, and it's got an ism to it. It's like, it's not an ism. Meghan has copied this from someone else. I mean, even when she started doing the as ever called American Riviera Orchard, she was copying. She tried to get on board with the Flamingo Estate. There are a couple of gay guys that run a very, very successful business, and then they basically turned around and said, no thank you, this isn't beneficial to us. And then she sets up her business practically copying them.
A famous name can get attention quickly, but attention fades if people cannot understand what makes the brand unique. The strongest brands work because the audience connects with a clear personality and a clear point of view. This is where Meghan's projects have faced criticism. The issue is not that she entered the lifestyle world. Many public figures have done the same thing. The question is whether the final product feels like something that could only come from her, or whether it feels similar to ideas that have already succeeded for others. And that connects back to the same theme that keeps appearing with the Diana comparisons.
She is under pressure. She's performing because she wants to say, I am independent. I am not abandoned. I don't need anyone. I am still fun, attractive, and I am completely fine. And in my mind came two things. Harry has a new girlfriend. There is a competence there, okay? Competition there.
Yeah.
And Harry wants to come back to the royal family. She is losing status. She is losing Harry. This video might not be just for us. It might be also for the girlfriend of Harry. It might be also for Harry too.
There's a difference between inspiration and imitation. Taking inspiration from successful people is normal, but when a public image begins to feel like it is constantly borrowing from existing formulas, people start questioning what the original identity really is. Because in the end, a brand is not built only on products, it's built on trust. And that brings us to the biggest reason Meghan's public image continues to create debate: the connection she still has to the royal family. That royal connection is the one thing Meghan cannot completely separate herself from. Even after stepping away from official royal duties, every major moment still exists under the shadow of that history. A birthday photo is not just a birthday photo. A fashion choice is not just a fashion choice. The monarchy has always operated through symbolism. Public messages, appearances, and announcements are carefully chosen because even small details can attract attention. Around Meghan's birthday, there was no public birthday message from the royal family. Around the same period, Princess Eugenie's new baby was officially announced, creating another royal family moment in the public eye.
24 hours, a royal birth, Eugenie and her baby girl Joy, with the royal family announcing officially on X, but the timing of this announcement, Tash, on Meghan's birthday, is it coincidental? You say, hell no. Revealing Princess Eugenie finally got her own back. Meghan announced her pregnancy at her wedding. Now Princess Eugenie announced the birth of her daughter, which was yesterday on Meghan's birthday today.
These choices do not tell us what people privately think, but they show why royal communication is analyzed so closely. Meghan's connection to the royal family changed the way the public views her. Before, she was known mainly through her acting career. After marrying Harry, she became part of a centuries-old institution with a history that includes some of the most recognizable figures in the world, including Princess Diana. That history follows every image. It is why a swimsuit photo can become a discussion about Diana. It is why a brand can become a discussion about identity. It is why a simple birthday post can become part of a much larger story. But after all the comparisons, there is one question left. Not whether Meghan copied a pose, not whether a photograph looks familiar. The real question is what this image represents and why it continues to create such a strong reaction. And that takes us back to the birthday photo itself.
Because after all the comparisons, the bigger question was never really about a jump into a pool. A pose can be recreated, a swimsuit can be copied, a photograph can be repeated, but a legacy cannot be duplicated. That is the difference between an iconic image and just an imitation of one. Princess Diana's most famous moments were powerful because they captured something people felt was real. They were connected to her personality, her struggles, and the way she made people feel. That is why the Diana comparison is so difficult. You can recreate the visual, you can recreate the setting, you can even recreate the style, but you cannot recreate the exact moment that made millions of people connect with her. And that is where the phrase, "she will never be Lady Di," comes from. Not because someone cannot admire Diana's fashion or be inspired by her. It comes from the idea that Diana's impact came from being completely herself. The real challenge for anyone living in the shadow of an icon is simple. You can copy the picture, but you cannot copy the story behind it. So now I want to hear from you. Do you think Meghan's birthday photo was just a fun tribute, or do you think it was designed to recreate Diana's image? Drop your thoughts below because I always want to know what you think. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like the video, subscribe, and turn on notifications because this is Jane Exposed, and I'll be back with the next Meghan Markle story everyone will be talking about. Until then, stay curious.